Hello, my fellow broke aristocrats. Happy Wednesday to you. This is my favorite day of the week because I get to hang out with you and have a great cup of tea. I actually have a little bit of a tummy thing going on. It's been going on, I think, a couple days now. What can you do? So I decided that I would be drinking a sage tea today. I talked to you in previous videos about the sage teas that grow in the mountains in Greece, and a little bit about the health benefits of sage. Sage is often used for sore throat. It has antiseptic qualities. People will sometimes do a strong sage decoction or a tea, and they will use it to rinse the face instead of a toner because it can help with acne, and that's because of its antiseptic properties. And one aspect of having acne is that it's an infection. So in addition to cleaning up the diet, we sometimes will tell people with cystic acne to try a sage wash, and sometimes it can be beneficial. It's a little less harsh than something like a tea tree oil, which can sometimes be too strong and irritating. So when I made the tea today, it does leave a strong scent in my teapot, and then I have to work really hard to wash out the teapot to get the sage tea out. So what I decided to do instead today was to just put a chunk of sage in some boiling water and let it sit for just a little bit. And I have to admit, I do feel better after I've had a little sage tea, particularly when you get these kinds of bugs that are going around. So let me take my tea sip. It's very good. It's extremely hot because it's only been sitting for 2 minutes. And as I have said in previous videos, you don't want to be gulping down extremely hot tea because that can be very hard on the esophagus and is actually associated with increased risk for esophageal cancer. So for that reason, we really want to make sure that our tea drops a couple degrees. Just let it sit for a few minutes. With the black teas, traditionally, they will sit for 4 to 5 minutes steeping, and for the green teas, 1 to 2 minutes. Anything more than that can leave a bad taste with green tea. Sage tea is a little bit different. It can sit, and it's fairly benign to let it sit for several minutes. This is a little too hot to drink. It does taste very good, though. Okay. So today I wanted to share with you an interesting series of continuing education videos that I've been watching on the science of happiness. And this is based on studies that have happened all over the world on some of the most happy people in the world. Why are they happy? How can we get happier? We all want to be happier, and some of the parameters. In addition to doing this video for Broke Aristocrats on my health channel, which is Dr. Whimsy Anderson, ND, you can look that up, hopefully, and subscribe. On that video, on that channel, hopefully it'll be uploaded either tonight or tomorrow. I'm going to be doing a really interesting video on how we feed the brain. What can we do to have optimal brain function? There is a science to feeding the brain, and we are going to delve into that, and that's going to be a really intriguing. I'm very excited about that video. And on my other channel, I'll also be recommending various different supplements, which I don't like to do too much here at Broke Aristocrats. But over there on Dr. Whimsy Anderson, I will be talking about the supplements and some of the science of cleaning up our brain, getting our brain healthy. But today we're focusing on happiness, and all these suggestions I believe are, well, it's free basically. Not only is it a frugal way to become happy, but it's good stuff. You know, it's based on scientific studies of happiness. So this was the 4 parameters that were studied. I will go ahead and also link a video after this one if you want to take a look at some of the studies. But we're today going to talk about those 4 parameters to what constitutes happiness, or how we have found this correlation between these 4 aspects to happiness, starting with the first one, and the first one is resilience. The ability to be resilient. This is somebody who, say, has something happen to them, they get knocked down, they hit rock bottom, maybe they go bankrupt, or maybe they can't pay their bills. The resilience aspect of happiness is the person who understands that in life there are ups and downs, but it in no way diminishes their internal sense of self. That is basically, in a nutshell, what resilience is. That they have something abiding inside of them that allows them to see the world in a positive way, regardless of what is going on in the external world. This is the person who pulls themselves up by the bootstrap, brushes their knees off and says, yeah, it happened. What can I learn from this experience? How can I fix the situation? And they move forward. They move on. So that was the first thing they noticed about extremely happy people, that they are resilient and they are able to find ways of coping and modifying their life based on life's challenges. The second was a positive outlook, not just a positive outlook trying to find the rose amongst the thorns, as we Victorians would say. Yes, the positive outlook is not just about trying to always look at the bright side or how can I make lemonade out of the lemons. A positive outlook also encompassed this idea of an afterglow, that when something really wonderful happens, like a child graduates from college, or you get a raise at work, or you pay off that credit card debt, yay! But the ability to truly enjoy and savor that wonderful positive experience. The third aspect to people who are extremely happy is focused attention, the ability not to be distracted by chaos, by clutter, by other stuff that could be pulling you from that center or that internal sense of happiness. And this goes back to the idea of people who may have either attention deficit disorder, or people who may be easily distracted and find it difficult to focus. That in and of itself, trouble focusing, attention deficit disorder, can come with it not just trouble learning, but it can also have emotional challenges as well, because when we can't focus, this can make us experience being emotionally distraught. So how can we help a person have better focus so that they're not easily pulled away from what they're focusing on towards things that are distracting or upsetting or disturbing? And finally, the fourth is generosity, and this is the ability to give. That when we give more, when we share more, when we love more, even when we feel that we have nothing left to give, our happiness quotient goes up. And if even a broke aristocrat, even somebody who feels like they have nothing left to give, we can always give a smile. We can always put a hand on someone's shoulder and say, I am there for you, I love you, I support you. And I try to do that every day on this channel. All right, thank you for watching, everybody. Stay strong, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.